Tonight, broadcasting live from our studios here at QUT in Kelvin Grove, the brand new TV show featuring film, arts and culture. It's time for Late Night ViewPoint.
Hello and welcome to this very special live broadcast edition of Late Night ViewPoint. I'm your host Lachlan, and we have a show full of the latest points of view about film, art and culture from around the world, with a special look at what's happening right here in beautiful Brisbane. And joining me tonight on my left is Alex and Dee. And on my right, please welcome Phoenix and Liam. Okay, let's get started on Late Night ViewPoint with our first topic. Public transport and should it be free? So, free means less services, or should it cost more and have better services? What do we think, Dee?
I think they're fine how they are now in Brisbane. The 50-cent fares are great, they're affordable, but yeah, they're great for students like me who rely on it to get to uni. So yeah, I love it. I think it should stay how it is.
Would you rather them be cheaper, or?
I think they're fine how they are, just the 50 cent is just enough to like still provide for the transport industry and stuff. So I think it's fine.
Okay. Does anyone else have anything they want to share on this issue?
I think it's fine how it is. It's an easy way to track your savings and like what you're spending on public transport. I feel like it was a perfect move from the government to implement that, and I think it's fine how it is.
Okay. Alex, you've told us in the past that you're a frequent user of public transport. What do you think of the system?
I think the system is really great actually, because I think one of the most important things about public transport is that it's comfortable to use. So the prices I think is actually really cheap. 50 cents per ride is actually really affordable for us students, and not to mention like how frequent the buses come. So yeah, actually I'm from Singapore, and our public transport is actually quite different from here.
How so?
In Brisbane. Something different is that in Singapore, it's actually more frequent. The trains come like every 4 or 5 minutes.
Okay.
But it's not comfortable. It's not comfortable like in the train carriages and the bus. Like Singapore is a hot country, so and a lot of time like during the afternoon or in the morning or in the evening. Like actually for most of the day, the trains are really crowded, and plus the fact that it's hot as well, it doesn't really make for a good like ride experience. So I actually think the transport here is really.
So Australia's public transport's markedly bigger improvement than Singapore's. Is that what you're saying?
Personally, yeah, I'll say it is.
I see. What about you, Phoenix? Do you have anything to say on the matter?
No, I gotta say I agree with everyone already. Like, we've got so many different options. It's a lot cheaper than what it used to be, definitely. And yeah, for people who rely on it, it's definitely a very good option.
And well, speaking of transport, everybody, let's move on to our next question on the subject of e-scooters. Are they a great idea, or are they just too dangerous? I'm going to throw it over to Phoenix again. What do you think?
I think, they're good for getting around quick, definitely, but yeah, they get left around everywhere. People don't use them to the best extent of what they like stand for.
Anyone else want to chime in? Their opinion on e-scooters?
I agree. I think they're great in theory, but they just aren't practical when used to the public. I mean, people leave them around everywhere, like Phoenix said. They go a bit too far sometimes. I mean, they're just everywhere, and they just need better control, I guess. Or, yeah, something needs to change, but...
Would you say it's the driver's problem of the e-scooters?
Yes, definitely.
So it's more the operator than the actual equipment. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Anyone else want to second on this notion?
Yeah, I think I agree with Dee that it's more a sense of moderation. How do you monitor so many different types of people? Like, it's down to the person using it. And right now, I would say that a lot of people are opposed more to the driver than the actual e-scooters, and that they're being used more for a recreational use rather than a practical use, which is more common these days, like we said with the 50-cent bus fares. So maybe they should reinvent their idea of what these should be promoted for a recreational use.
Okay, so you're saying maybe a heavier policing on what e-scooters should and shouldn't be used for.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you have anything to say on this matter, Alex?
Actually, from an observation, I've noticed like what Phoenix said. Scooters get left around quite often. They're not parked properly, like around. So sometimes I'm walking by the pavement and then I see on the grass beside me there's like a scooter lying down there. And then there's also like the helmets. They sometimes just leave it around, like make it more convenient. Instead of parking at like a designated parking spot, they just find it's more convenient to just like put it anywhere they.
That does seem to be
anywhere they
the
want,
issue for most people, is the fact that, you know, it's one thing to have a problem with the riders, but it's also another thing to have a problem with where exactly they park their e-scooters.
But then again, like it's mostly on the riders. It's not necessarily the scooters itself. So I think e-scooters are fine, but we need to be more, like the drivers need to be more responsible with how they use the scooters.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very true. All right, now taking a bit of a swing away from our transport discussion, are live-action remakes a good idea? Movies such as Snow White, The Lion King, The Little Mermaid, and How to Train Your Dragon have gained great traction in the past few years. But are they any good? Panel, what do we think?
I think they're unnecessary. Like, especially a lot of these animated films, they're perfect. Really, they get a lot of high reviews and everything. They've been classics for years. I think it's fun, but yeah, a lot of the time it's unnecessary. They're not adding anything new. It's not a new thing. It's just the same thing, just actual people.
Okay. Does anyone actually advocate for live-action remakes for films?
I do like them. I'm not the biggest fan of them, but I think they bring something new to the table, bring new audiences in, like children who may have not seen the original are going to the cinemas to watch this because it's being advertised, and then they might go watch the original, and it brings a new spin on an old idea. So I don't love them, but I don't hate them either. I think they're okay. Yeah.
Okay. Does anyone else have anything to say on that?
I'm quite on the middle ground for these kind of like remakes, because on one hand, on some animated films, it works.
Yeah.
So like, a live action remake that I actually enjoyed was Aladdin.
Yeah.
And comparing it to the animated version, like the animated version, of course, it's a lot more classic. I think it's the better of the two, but I think most of the animated segments translated well. I think Will Smith did a great job as the genie.
He certainly did.
Yeah. But one film which I think didn't work was The Lion King.
Yeah.
Because most of the animated Lion King is all animals. So
Yes.
when it's in the animated format, you give a lot more expression to these animals, because in real life, you can't look at the animal and say, oh, this animal is feeling this and this. So when it was translated into a live action version, most of the animals had the same expression.
Yeah,
It's
that's
just they're just
true.
kind of like lip syncing the
Yeah.
words. You can't really get a feel of, you can't really humanize them in
No,
a way.
very
yeah.
true. All right, I'm going to throw to an audience question now. Callum, in the audience there, what's your question?
Hello. I was just wondering if any of you guys could have one of your favorite childhood animated films made into a live action version. You might not like it, but what would you pick?
Ooh, that's
Great
a tough
question.
one.
I think I've got an answer.
Yes, Liam?
I think it's already been remade a few times, but Scooby-Doo, I feel like, has a huge platform, and I don't think it's been made faithful enough in those live-action remakes to satisfy the audience when it still has such a large fan base.
No, because the 2002 CGI cross
Yeah,
live action, that was
yeah.
a bit dicey, wasn't
There's
it?
a lot of room for improvement, and I feel like there's no risk at all, because a lot of these films already have a platform for like infinite financial gain, and yeah, that's just a franchise I enjoy a lot. I'd like to see it rebooted.
Anyone else? The favourite franchise? Love to see come to the big screen?
No, actually, there's this new movie which I'm not sure a lot of people like. It's Treasure Planet. So
All right, Alex,
like-
I'm going to have to cut you off there, unfortunately. All right, now to move. All right, so. Well, thank you very much for that, Alex. We are out of time already, so please thank my wonderful guests, Alex, Dee, Phoenix, and Liam. Come back right here tomorrow night for even more points of view on Late Night Viewpoint. Good night.